The war in Afghanistan may officially be over, but recent headlines suggest the impact of America's longest war will last. Army veteran and author of the new book, Surviving Son, Scott DeLuzio, lost a brother in that fight, and he's joining us this morning to share his story. Hi, Scott. How are you?
Thanks for having me, Rebecca. I'm doing good.
Of course. It's our pleasure to have you. Thank you for your service, first of all, and sorry about your loss. I want to talk about the book in just a bit, but let's get into a little bit about the tragedy of your brother on that battlefield. That death, obviously, is a major impact. How have you been through it? How has it impacted you?
Yeah, so my brother and I were both raised in a very patriotic family. We both joined the military after 9/11. We deployed in 2010 to Afghanistan together, and my brother tragically was killed in a firefight in Afghanistan in 2010. But I use his death and his loss and my experiences to continue on a mission to help out veterans, and I do that through writing this book, Surviving Son, and my podcast, the Drive On podcast, where I'm trying to focus on the issues that are facing military veterans and really raise awareness for these issues and get them out there in front of people.
Thanks for doing that, because I know that can help with things like PTSD in soldiers. But what else is being done here in the U.S. to help troops who might be dealing with post-traumatic stress after serving in Afghanistan?
There are so many things that are being done, and I started the Drive On podcast because I knew several veterans personally who took their own lives after returning home from overseas, and just due to the stresses of combat and PTSD that they were dealing with. And the numbers of veterans who are out there who are struggling with mental health issues are absolutely staggering if you look into those numbers. And so on the podcast, I talk to nonprofits and other organizations that are out there doing the work, really trying to help out veterans and come up with new and innovative ways to help out veterans. And I know in your area, in San Antonio, there's a big military community there, and there's a lot of people who are out there trying to help people out, and especially in your community, there's someone there who wants to help veterans, so there's no need to be suffering alone.
There really is. Military City, USA. I come from a military family. We're going to put our podcast on our list to listen to. Now let's talk about your book. It has some pretty raw emotions. After reading it, what do you want people to walk away with? What's the message?
Yeah, I want the veterans who read the book, Surviving Son, to learn from my mistakes and make healthy choices on how they are dealing with their PTSD and the combat stresses that they deal with. But I also want the civilians who read the Surviving Son, which you can get on Amazon. It's just Surviving Son in paperback and Kindle format. I want them to learn about the sacrifices that the military families make. And you can also listen to the stories that we have on the podcast as well, the Drive On podcast. Subscribe to that wherever you listen to podcasts, or driveonpodcast.com. And really check out those stories and learn from all the stuff that's going on in the military community.
Absolutely. Thanks again for joining us this morning, Scott. Thank you again for your service. Now I'm going to give everyone the information on where they can get your book. For more information on the podcast and on the book, just visit Scott's website, survivingsonbook.com.